is innovative multidisciplinary approaches to achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. And we split it down into transition from 844 to CBC, financing of education in Kenya, adoption of ICT, then we had health, evidence-based approaches to a healthy society. Then we had a sub-theme on entrepreneurship and economic development. And lastly, we had cross-cutting issues where we covered language, communication, ethics, law, and related areas. And we also have climate change as a sub-theme. The sub-theme of education attracted the largest number of papers because of the current issues to do with CBC. But we also have papers in diverse areas. You will be listening to presentations on 3 presentations on climate change, 3 presentations on e-learning as an alternative platform. You will be listening to quite a number of presentations on finance, business, and entrepreneurship. So, Mr. Vice Chancellor, because of our multidisciplinary approach, I'm happy to note that we have 5 presentations from mathematics. So we do hope that we will go multidisciplinary and form teams, so we can have somebody in health sciences research collaborating with a mathematician, together with a communication person and a geographer. So that is the format of our presentation. So after this opening ceremony, according to the program circulated to you, at 11, we'll go into our breakout rooms. There was some apprehension about the platform to use, but as you can see, the big blue button platform is working fine. So as a paper presenter, you'll be able to join your breakout room. You just stay in this main room, and then you will be guided accordingly on how to join your breakout session. And the session chairs will be on standby. They have your PowerPoint slides. The ICT people have uploaded them. They will be able to share promptly, so do not have any worries about how to share your presentation. Just make sure that you have joined correctly, you have accepted microphone, join with microphone, then you accept audio. When you are not presenting, you will mute your gadgets. Now, due to time, I skipped that session on virtual meeting guidelines, but we'll have that session at 11:15. So Benjamin Kiprono and Ms. Irene Ayako. So before the people join their breakout sessions, we'll brief them from 11:15, so that at 11, we have a smooth transition into the presentations. So Kiprono, that's why I skipped that session. You'll come in at 11:15. With those very many remarks, finally, before I welcome the DVC academic, I would like to report that I received maximum cooperation from the paper contributors, and those whose abstracts were cleared, they've paid for participation. All of them have paid the participation fee of 1,500 shillings. Both CAFU staff and external participants have paid. And that goes into the logistics of organizing a conference. So I would now like to welcome our Deputy Vice Chancellor in charge of Academic and Student Affairs, Professor Julius Kipkemboi, to make his remarks, and then he will welcome our chief guest, the Vice Chancellor, to officially open the conference. After that opening, we will have one speaker, the first keynote. We'll listen to him together here, then we'll break for tea, and then we go into our breakout sessions. Welcome, Professor Julius Kipkemboi.
Yes, John, I hope I am audible.
Yes, you are audible.
Thank you. Our CEO, Vice Chancellor, Professor Jack Nandi, the BBC Finance and Development keynote speakers, Professor Godwin Tondo, Dr. Diora, our participants from other institutions, University of Kabianga, Riyadh, Most, Jews, KU, Tomboya, Masai Mara, TUC, and other institutions whom I have not mentioned, our participants and my colleagues from CAFU, all guests and all other participants, good morning. I want to really take this opportunity to thank all of you and more sincerely.
Have we lost Professor?
2022,
Okay.
it was very clear that we are now in a new trajectory as a fully fledged university to take our rightful position, not only in teaching, but also in generating and disseminating knowledge. And I think this conference today, being our first conference, and again more important under the new normal, where we are having our virtual conference, is a testimony that CAFU is ready and we want to take our rightful position as a university that will make a significant impact in the community. When I look at the theme of this conference, which focuses on multidisciplinary approaches towards achieving SDGs, it's a clear demonstration to our commitment of our mission and as an institution. I want to thank the conference organizers who have chosen the themes which are really current and relevant, from the transition to the new education curriculum, matters to do with financing education, matters to do with ICT and climate change, matters to do with societal issues, conflicts, communication, and also issues that resonate with the current issues and also our commitment as an institution. I want to thank our keynote speakers. Of course, we are looking forward to the excellent presentations that will flavor our conference, and I want to thank all the contributors to the papers which have been prepared for presentation, and all the participants who have contributed and who will contribute to the success of this initiative. Now, I want to really wish all of us a very productive conference. More important is let's participate actively. I'm sure we'll be able to have some takeaways which can help us make a change in our society. So mine is just to wish all of you a very productive conference, and unfortunately I will not be able to join you the rest of the day. Actually, I need to catch up with another meeting shortly, but I want to thank all of you. So with those few remarks, I would like to now take this opportunity to welcome our Vice Chancellor, Professor Jack Nandi, who will give us his very important remarks as opening of this session. Professor Jack Nandi, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, my Deputy Professor Julius Kipkemboi, for welcoming me. All the participants in this conference, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Yeah, it gives me much pleasure to give my address to the first national conference in this university. As we are all aware, today, on 5th of May 2023. We are now having the first ever. We are having the first innovative conference, multidisciplinary conference, which is being done here at this university, and the theme is innovative multidisciplinary approach to achieving sustainable development goals. That's the theme of this conference. Those of you who are all aware, we got our charter on 2nd of August, 2022. And in less than 1 year, we are having the first ever national conference on the multidisciplinary approaches in achieving sustainable development goals. So for us as a university, I want to take this opportunity on behalf of the council, on behalf of the staff, on behalf of the students, and on behalf of all others, and especially to thank all of you who are participating. I know that there are 65 participants in this conference, and we also have 48 presentations. Today, as we are talking, we have about 74 participants now, and there are others who are joining. So I want to take this opportunity to thank you very much for finding time to be here and to join us. I want to take this opportunity first and foremost to thank the universities. There are 26 universities that are participating. And I recognize all of you, all the universities that are participating. I'm not going to mention you, all of you, because you are 26, but I want to recognize a few other universities that have more entries in this participation. If you look at the list of the participants, I've realized that Kaimosi Friends University has about 20 participants. So we are leading by example as the host. We want to recognize Kisii University. They're having 6 participants. Our own mother university, Masinde Muliro University of Science and Technology, thank you very much for being there, for the role that you played to mentor us. Now we are on our own, and we are happy that you have joined us with the 12 participants. We have also Masai Mara University, which is joining us with the 10 participants, and then Joust with the 5, Kenyatta University with the 7, Tomboya University with 3, and Rongo University with 2. I recognize those universities that are having more than 1 participant, but I also appreciate all the 26 universities that have joined us today in this conference to make it a reality. This is our first, as I've said, our first national conference, and therefore it's an achievement for us as a young university. And we are looking forward that in the next 2 years, it's going to be a national conference. It will be held every year in this university. But after 2 years, we are going to graduate this particular conference to an international level. So that's what we are working on to make sure that it's going to become an international conference. I want to take this opportunity once more again to thank all my colleagues, especially the team in our university, led by the Director of Research, Professor Juang, for the role that he has played to make this conference a reality. Together with all the team members whom we have mentioned, there are some who work within the university and others who have come from outside, whom we have mentioned. I want to thank all of you for finding time to make this a success. There are a number of you who are playing the role of peer reviewers. There are a number of you who are going to chair some sections during this conference. I want to take this opportunity to recognize you and to thank you very much for the role that you are going to play to make this conference a reality. I also want to take this opportunity to appreciate and to recognize one of the members of the council, Dr. Fauzia, who has joined us and who is participating and who is going to present the paper. That means that even our own council is leading by example. And therefore, this shows that we are going to have more other conferences. Those of you who are aware, just last week, we were hosting the conference from the Society of Education, Research and Evaluation that was being hosted in this university. But this one now is our first conference. So this is the beginning of many other efforts to enable us focus not only on teaching, but research. And so I want to thank you very much, and I'm very happy about the theme that you have taken and the number of other sub-themes that are going to be presented here. I also want to take this opportunity to let members know that there is a lot that we can achieve as far as technology is concerned. So this is a virtual conference, and we can actually embrace technology. It's going to be cost effective. It's going to be cost effective to embrace technology. And as you are all aware, that is one of the agenda of our government, the Kenya Kwanza government. Better. Better means bottom-up economic transformation agenda. And in the better and the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, digital superhighway is one of the agenda that has been highlighted by the government. So as a university, and I think as all of us who are here today, it's going to be more cost-effective for us to embrace technology by having this kind of a number of these virtual conferences, so that it becomes easier for universities that are younger. And you are also aware that even the funding models in universities is changing. So it may not be possible for universities to have more money to host this kind of conferences. So this is, I want to thank all of you and the university for waking up to the call and ensuring that we are able to focus on the core mandate of this university, which is teaching and research. I take this opportunity also to thank all of you who are participating, because it's through the contribution, the amount of money that you have contributed, that's making this conference succeed. So we want to thank you very much. I also wish to take this opportunity to thank our key speakers. We have Professor Geoffrey Netonto, who is a full professor of botany. Professor, thank you very much for volunteering to give us the first keynote speech. And also, I wish to thank Professor Chege Gidurwa for finding time, to be with us today as one of the keynote speakers. And all of you, all of us who are here, I want to encourage you and also let you know that when we are talking about multidisciplinary approach, that is the future of research. I have participated in a number of multidisciplinary researches. That is what has made some of us be what we are. You cannot be able to achieve anything as a researcher if you are going to be an island. You must find a way of coming up with multidisciplinary research. And here I can see there are a number of papers from mathematics and many other areas. We can come together, and with a common theme, we can be able to contribute. People out there who have the money, who have the grants, are no longer supporting researches that are not multidisciplinary. So I want to encourage all of us, because this is the beginning. I want to encourage all of us, and especially our colleagues from all the 26 universities that are here. I want to encourage you to work together with each other. Find a way of coming up with big researches. You are all aware of the funding, and you are all aware of the lack of funds, especially when it comes to National Research Fund. We don't have the money, and we are hoping that we should be able, if we have enough money, we are hoping that we should be able to come up with more serious multidisciplinary researches to attract more funds and make universities more relevant. Because without enough funds, we are going to have challenges. We are not going to be able to publish. And you are all aware, if you remember what was said by Professor William W.R. Ochieng, you either publish or you perish. So we want those of you, especially in our university and many other young universities that are here, that we are going to rely on multidisciplinary research. Those of you who are senior and you are in this team, we want to encourage you to mentor our young faculty. Encourage them, form the teams. This is the right time for you to collaborate and come up with serious multidisciplinary research. And I can assure you, you will go very far. And I can also tell you that alone, in your own area of discipline, you are not going to go anywhere. You are not going to achieve anything in research without collaborating. If you are a scientist, you should remember that you cannot be able, your results will be null and void without a social scientist. Because there must be somebody somewhere seated to be able to provide you with more information about indigenous knowledge. Science has failed on its own because of lack of indigenous knowledge. So we need to come together through multidisciplinary research and understand some of the inhibitions, some of the problems that have made some of our researchers, some of our top researchers not to succeed. And therefore, we must come together and work together to enable us achieve the best. With those many remarks, I want to take this opportunity to thank all of you, Professor Juang. I want to thank once more again, thank all of you who are participating here today. I want to encourage you to have fruitful discussion, and I want to thank you for finding time to invite me to come and open this first conference. With those many remarks, I now wish to declare this first conference, whose theme is Innovative Multidisciplinary Approaches to Achieving Sustainable Development Goals, officially open. Thank you very much.
Thank you, our CEO and Vice Chancellor, for officially opening the conference. Members, you are now free to participate as much as you want. This is an academic exercise, and academic freedom and freedom of expression is guaranteed. I will now take this humble opportunity to welcome our first keynote speaker, Professor Godfrey Netondo from Maseno University, to give his keynote address. Welcome, Professor Netondo. Professor Netondo, in brief, is a full professor of botany. He is currently serving as the Dean, School of Physical and Biological Sciences at Maseno University, where he has also worked and risen through the ranks from position of assistant lecturer to lecturer, senior lecturer, associate professor, and finally full professor of botany. He got his Bachelor of Science degree from the University of Nairobi and Master of Science also from the University of Nairobi, and his PhD was a split program between Maseno University and a university in Germany. He got a fellowship of 6 months. He is a member of the Kenya DAAD Scholars Association. He has published extensively in his field. He has supervised several postgraduate students. He has served in administration, also as chairman of department, dean of the school, and as acting deputy vice chancellor academic and student affairs for 1 year. Professor Netondo, we have an audience here for you today. We have 67 people online and 20 people at the physical launch. Welcome, Professor. You can speak to us for some 20 minutes, and then the discussion will be open, and that will mark our first presentation.
Being heard.
We can hear you, Prof. Just proceed.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I want to thank the organizers for inviting me to this very auspicious occasion of the first conference for Kaimosi University, which is a very, very important idea that came up. And I appreciate that you invited me. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we are gathered here at CAFU to discuss the vital role of research scientists in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. As we navigate the challenges of the 21st century, it has become increasingly evident that scientific research is critical in driving progress towards sustainable development. However, it's not enough to simply have scientists working on SDG-related issues. They must be equipped with the right tools, knowledge, and skills to effectively contribute to the attainment of the SDGs. In this talk, I will delve deeper into how we can equip the 21st century research scientists as a catalyst for the attainment of the SDGs, which is in line with the theme of the conference, Innovative Multidisciplinary Approaches to Achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. We will explore the multidisciplinary approaches, as we have already heard from the CEO, required access to cutting-edge technologies, strong communication skills that are necessary for researchers to act as agents of change and contribute towards building a more sustainable future for all, and public participation in implementing of research findings towards the attaining the Sustainable Development Goals. Now, let me, ladies and gentlemen, just briefly talk about the Sustainable Development Goals. Sustainable Development Goals, as you are aware, they are also called SDGs in short, and there are 17 in number, which were set out by the United Nations General Assembly in 2015 as part of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development of the planet. The 17 sustainable goals, for those who may not have taken time to look at them, let me just outline them. The first one is talk about no poverty. The second one, zero hunger. The third, good health and well-being. The fourth, quality education. The fifth, gender equality. The sixth, clean water and sanitation. The seventh, affordable and clean energy. The eighth, industry. The ninth, innovation and infrastructure. The 10th, reduced inequality. 11th, sustainable cities and communities. The 12th, responsible consumption and production. The 13th, climate action. 14, life below waters. 15, life on land. 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions. And lastly, 17, partnerships to achieve the goals. Now, if it is not easy to internalize all of them, but these are the goals which aim at addressing the most pressing social, economic, and environmental challenges which face the world today. For instance, we talk about poverty, inequality, climate change, environmental degradation, and peace and justice. Those are some of the few that we can pick, but there are others. So in short, these SDGs are a comprehensive blueprint for creating a better and more sustainable future for all, and attainment of these goals requires the collective effort of governments, businesses, civil society, and individuals. But one group that plays a very particular critical role is in achieving these goals are us, the scientists. So we are a very special group that will help in achieving these SDGs. Ladies and gentlemen, scientists have the expertise and knowledge which is needed to help address some of the world's most pressing challenges. Some of them we have already listed: climate change, poverty, inequality, and environmental degradation. They play a very vital role in informing policy decisions and developing new technologies and solutions that can drive progress towards attaining these SDGs. For example, scientists in the field of ecology, like myself, are studying the impacts of human activities on ecosystems and developing conservation strategies to protect endangered species and ecosystems. The world today is experiencing a lot of exploitation of ecologies, ecosystems, and in the process causing a lot of problems and challenges which have to be addressed by us scientists. Additionally, environmental scientists are also developing new technologies to reduce pollution, wastes, and to promote sustainable agriculture and land use. Those are some of the few areas in agriculture. In the fields of health care, research scientists are developing new treatments and technologies which help reduce the burden of disease and improve health outcomes. For example, as you are aware, medical scientists are constantly working to develop vaccines for diseases such as malaria, HIV and AIDS, and the recent development of the COVID vaccine. Those are very major contributions by our scientists. They're also developing new therapies for cancer and other diseases, which can improve patient outcomes and quality of life. Research scientists, ladies and gentlemen, also play the role of providing evidence-based solutions to policymakers and stakeholders to help inform decisions related to the SDGs. The research that come out of this from the scientists help to identify the most effective strategies for achieving the goals. For example, scientists provide evidence on the impacts of climate change on different ecosystems, which can help to inform policies aimed at reducing greenhouse gas emissions and mitigating the effects of climate change. Finally, on this area, we find research scientists also act as advocates for change by communicating their research findings to different audiences, including policymakers, the media, and the general public. They also raise awareness about the importance of achieving these SDGs and the role that research plays in driving progress towards these goals. Ladies and gentlemen, from the examples that have been I have highlighted above, it is clear that research scientists contribute towards the attainment of the SDGs. However, it's not enough to have scientists working on these issues, but they must be equipped with the right tools, knowledge, and skills to effectively contribute towards these goals. One of the skills the research scientists need to possess is multidisciplinary approach. This refers to an approach that involves the collaboration and integration of knowledge, methods, and expertise from different disciplines or fields of study to solve complex problems. As you heard the Vice Chancellor mention this, and he emphasized it, that research currently requires a multidisciplinary approach. Now, it becomes even more important because the 17 SDGs are quite multidimensional. They cover so many areas that are interrelated. When you look at one area like poverty, it has a relationship with the hunger, it has a relationship with the ecosystems and land, it has a relationship with the food or the water, the waters, it has a relationship with the economy and so on. So scientists with their multidisciplinary knowledge will develop a holistic solution or solutions to complex problems like the ones targeted for the SDGs. For example, scientists with expertise in environmental science can link up with those ones in engineering, in social sciences, to collaborate and develop sustainable and socially acceptable solutions for providing access to clean water and sanitation. So that is about multidisciplinary nature. I did not emphasize much because the Vice Chancellor has mentioned it. Secondly, it is important to equip scientists with cutting-edge technology, which is very crucial for achieving the SDGs. Here, ladies and gentlemen, I highlight some of the cutting-edge technologies which may contribute to the attainment of the SDGs. One, enhanced data collection and analysis. Currently, we have various technologies that help us in this. Just to mention the normal ones that we have, the remote sensing, geographical information systems, artificial intelligence, among others, which can help us to collect and analyze large amounts of data, which somebody called big data, more quickly and accurately, which can provide valuable insights into complex problems, which will inform policy decisions and track progress towards these SDGs. Secondly, improved resource management. We find cutting-edge technologies. For example, precision agriculture is a technology that exists. Water and energy-efficient technologies, smart grids, which have to do with the managing electricity more efficiently, and nanotechnology, which is about using very minute components instead of using huge or wasteful materials or for us to manage the resources. This can help manage our natural resources more efficiently and sustainably. So they help in reducing wastage and improving productivity, and hence contributing the achievement of the SDGs related to, for example, sustainable consumption and production, clean energy, sustainable cities and communities, among others. We also have innovative solutions. So cutting-edge technologies can help scientists develop innovative solutions to complex sustainable challenges. Here, I have some examples. For example, the use of renewable energy technologies, for example, solar and wind power, can help us to achieve the SDG number 7, that is affordable and clean energy. Similarly, using genetic engineering and biotechnology will help us to achieve SDG number 2, zero hunger, and by improving crop yield, this by improving crop yields and developing drought-resistant crops. Furthermore, on the same application of bioinformatics and genomics, that is now my area, can help in achieving sustainable development goals. Number 3, good health. Number 4, quality education. And number 15, life on land, that is biodiversity. It has been recognized on this note that bioinformatics and genomics analysis of African genomes are vital or important in identifying population-specific genetic variants, which can confer susceptibility to different diseases which are endemic to Africa. So this technology and the knowledge that comes out of it can empower African healthcare systems and governments for timely intervention, thereby enhancing good health and well-being of our people. On the same, we have increased collaboration. So cutting-edge technologies can facilitate collaboration among scientists from different disciplines and institutions. On this note, we have what we are doing even now, but more so we have cloud computing and visual video conferencing, which are very important in collaborative research, because they help us to share and collaborate on projects, share data and knowledge very, very easily. Currently, it is possible to share data at a very, very short notice. And this collaboration can lead to more comprehensive and effective solutions to complex sustainability challenges. On the issue of research and communication, I want to say that communication skills are very, very important in contributing significantly towards achieving the sustainable development goals. So we need to equip ourselves as scientists in order to attain and contribute to the attainment of the sustainable development goals, or the SDGs. I want to highlight some of the ways in which this can be possible. Increased engagement, whereby effective communication skills can help research scientists engage with a broader range of stakeholders, including policymakers, civil society organizations, and the public. By communicating our research findings and ideas clearly and concisely, we scientists can raise awareness, build support, and inspire action towards achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. Secondly, communication improves or help us to improve on collaboration. In this case, we see that effective communication skills can facilitate collaboration among research scientists from different disciplines and institutions. We realize that scientists, especially those ones that are in the physical and medical or other sciences, are generally not very good communicators, and they need to be skilled to communicate more effectively. So by communicating effectively, scientists can exchange these ideas, share knowledge, and work together towards common goals. For example, in achieving these SDGs. Better policy making is another area of effective communication, where effective communication skills can help us researchers or research scientists to communicate our findings and recommendations to policymakers by communicating our research in a way that is accessible and understandable. So these policies will end up in decision-making towards achieving the SDGs. Now, I want to emphasize here that normally scientists, we have a language that is understood by only scientists, but the common people may not easily understand the knowledge that is generated by we scientists until it is distilled and simplified into a language that can be understood by a common man. And that is when it can help us to achieve these SDGs. Now, lastly, on the same, we also generate a lot of knowledge and technologies, but when these technologies or products are taken to the end users, it becomes a problem which has been noted because of what is public participation. Implementing, in most cases, encounter difficulties. And so, as a 21st century research scientist, we are required to be equipped with the skills on public participation, which can enable acceptance of the new technologies or products which are linked to addressing the SDGs. So this is important because it will provide the researchers and the policymakers a chance to avoid rejection, low adoption, and conflict. I have an example that is very common when we look at what has been going on, especially in the tropical countries, Kenya included, malaria treated nets, and some of this, because they just came from above and there was no much public participation involving the end users, they ended up being rejected and being used for other purposes that were not meant for it. Because there are cultural issues, there are issues of just beliefs and all kinds of issues that make the adoption of this or absorption of these technologies and products very low. In conclusion, I would like to say that scientists play a critical role in the advancing knowledge and developing innovative solutions to the challenges facing society. We are uniquely positioned to contribute to the attainment of the SDGs by conducting research, generating evidence, and developing solutions that address the most pressing global challenges. Achieving the SDGs require collaboration, innovation, and willingness to work across the disciplines and sectors. By equipping research scientists like ourselves with the necessary skills and tools, we can empower ourselves to be catalysts for change towards a more sustainable future for all. Therefore, let us continue to invest in the research and the development, build strong partnerships, and equip research scientists with the necessary knowledge and skills to achieve the SDGs. Together we can create a more sustainable, equitable, and prosperous world for the current and future generations. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Netondo, for giving us your keynote presentation. It is very enlightening, and it captures our theme very succinctly. For instance, I have seen a clear multidisciplinary link between science, technology, language and communication, and culture, where we can engage sociologists and anthropologists. So that team can have 5 disciplines in the same study. So Professor Netondo, we would request you to turn on your camera now for feedback so that you can interact with the online audience. And I will welcome Dr. Lois Njeri, the rapporteur, to summarize the presentation in 5 minutes, and then we'll take feedback for around 10 minutes, and we are within time, because after that we'll have a health break for 10 minutes, and then we break into our rooms. So welcome, Dr. Njeri. You can summarize just the key points, and then we'll welcome the audience to contribute.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Professor Ojwang, for giving me this opportunity. And I also take this opportunity for thanking our guest speaker and keynote speaker. From what he has presented to us, I think we really appreciate the importance of technology, and appreciate the fact that it's not possible to achieve the SDGs without bringing on board scientists. So our speaker has mainly touched on the SDGs and really emphasized that it may not be possible for us to achieve them if we left out scientists. Of importance is the innovation part, and he has touched on several issues facing humanity today, one of them being poverty, climate change, pollution. And you can find that without innovation, for example, new techniques and technologies in handling pollution, gathering data, analyzing that data, it may not be possible to achieve them. He has also mentioned the importance of communication skills, because you find that, as he has stated, that is one thing to collect data, to come up with innovation, but if we do not connect with the policymakers, key drivers of the socioeconomic status in the society, then it may not be possible to achieve the SDGs. So he has really emphasized on the communication. He has also touched on culture as a key thing that, if not addressed, it may not be possible to achieve the SDGs. And this can only be possible to address if we effectively communicate our findings and our recommendations. Some of the areas, technologies, and the new technologies, the developing of new technologies and having them being communicated effectively. He has also touched on communicating on issues of health. For example, you can see especially on issues to do with HIV, COVID, malaria. If effectively communicated, it will help us achieve the purpose. The other role of communicating is evidence-based solutions to policymakers so that we can connect. The other one that should be effectively communicated is research findings. And it has come out clearly that communication of these research findings can only be possible through empowering the scientists. An example is in the field of medicine, whereby, yes, we are good in the medical field, but you find that we are challenged in communicating our findings. And therefore, he has emphasized that it is important to empower researchers, especially in the medical field, on how to effectively communicate so that whatever findings we come up with, they become absorbed and also palatable. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Westenberry, for your summary of the proceedings. So, members, you can also react to anything that may have caught your attention from the Vice Chancellor's speech, combining with Professor Nemando's presentation in relation to the SDGs and research in general, and where universities should go in Kenya, especially in the face of financial challenges. So we have 5 minutes for brief reactions so that we get our 15 minutes of a health break and come back at 11 for the group sessions. So anybody with a comment, or you can also write it as a chat, and we'll be able to mention your sentiments. If you must speak, you'll speak for 1 minute, so you'll unmute yourself and ask to contribute for 1 minute. The floor is now open. Dr. Mieno is asking on the chart. According to UNESCO report, Africa Africa contributes only 2.63% of the world's research output.
What could be the limiting factors that inhibit African researchers in contributing to this space? Then on the issue of data collection and analytics, and use of data in modeling, new theories, Professor Miano feels that we have a weak legislative framework guiding the same. What is your take, Professor Netondo? What factors limit the contribution of African researchers? And two, is there a legislative framework to guide data collection and analytics, and what can we do about it as scholars? Welcome, Prof. Netondo. Professor drop off, maybe.
I'm there. Yes, I get the two questions. The first one is on the law, on the research, and the factors that contribute to the low research output. It is common knowledge that we Africans are not doing enough research, and there are so many factors. Some of them are very well known. The Vice Chancellor mentioned in the morning about the funding. Funding is a very important issue. We rely mostly on external funding. Our national
Yes, Professor.
I was saying that one of the key challenges of African researchers is finance, bearing in mind that our governments put very little money on finance. And I was giving the example of the National Research Fund. We write proposals, but we hardly get funded. And tied to that, we are saying that we rely mostly on external funding, and those fundings are tied to some themes. Some of those themes may not even be related to what our core business is, our training, but we join them just because of the funding. So that contributes a lot to our low output. But as the Vice Chancellor mentioned in the morning, we are also not, we have not tooled ourselves to doing collaborative research, multidisciplinary research. Many of us want to do personal researches, but now the in thing is that we need to collaborate. Let's do more collaboration with our colleagues from China, from America, from Europe and elsewhere, so that because solving these SDGs requires that we do multidisciplinary research. So that is one. And on data analytics, if I had it rightly, is that do we have any legislative framework? And honestly, I may not have a good answer to this. I champion it so that it can be legislated. If it's not there, that is. But I don't have the correct answer whether it's there or not. Maybe any other member in the audience may have better information on that. respond. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. One more, then Dr. Peter Karanja would like to know what is the role of artificial intelligence in assisting as well as inhibiting research? Is AI taking over active research? Then Dr. Nurul Fozia is also asking. Sometimes we need local solutions to local problems by actually looking at current from a different angle.
So how come that the aspect is not picked yet can solve most issues that we are dealing with in terms of SDG? Professor Bernard Okello from Jaramogi University is asking. Okay, he's also together with Dr. Karanja, they're asking about AI, and Professor Okello is mentioning the instance of ChatGPT. What is its role in research? Does it have an influence in multidisciplinary research? Yes, so
there are two issues there raised.
Yes, there is AI, artificial intelligence, and
they're mentioning the case of ChatGPT. There's that software which writes things for people automatically. It can answer any, it can solve any problem. So are machines taking over thinking? Will they make research irrelevant? That's my interpretation of that question.
Thank you so much for those questions. Artificial intelligence is taking over research. I don't think it is taking over. It is just supporting. I'm not in that area, but from my general understanding, artificial intelligence is only but supporting us scientists. The people who are in that area tell us that it is enhancing our research, and it is a developing area. So we may not have sufficient knowledge, but to me, my understanding is that it just supports us in our research. It cannot inhibit. It is only supporting, because it cannot take over active research. Human beings are different from machines. Machines are only there to support us. If they are machines or the tools that come with those machines, like the artificial intelligence, is only there but for support. It cannot take over. And I was chatting with one of our members in the School of Computing and Informatics, and he was vehemently saying that, okay, the artificial intelligence is an active area of research. It is doing so many things in health, in agriculture, in whatever, in languages. But there are certain things. For example, I know Dr. Karanja is in linguistics, and there are certain things that artificial intelligence and this chat quip cannot do. So I am not in a very good position to talk about this, because that is not my area. But I think from my general knowledge, I know it is just supporting. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor. Maybe one last one.
First one, Dr. Bernard would like to know, do you think that lack of effective communication can be a limiting factor in accessing funds from major funders for African researchers? Then Dr. John Aisi is asking, do researchers remain in the ivory tower such that research has less impact on communities? And Professor Miano, as a follow-up, he has confirmed your answer that AI enhances research and problem solving. AI can be used thank you, Professor Miano, for supporting Professor Netondo's view on AI. So, Professor Netondo, you can take those two last ones, then we take a break.
Lack of communication or lack of effective communication, actually, it can contribute to not winning funding, because if you write things that if you write in a way that you are not communicating effectively, you are not writing if there are objectives and you are not effectively putting them, it can easily contribute to your proposal not being funded. Researchers living in the ivory towers, that is the common notion. That is the common notion that we live somewhere above there. But from what I've experienced, currently, we have moved out of that. People are now going to the villages. People are working with the communities. Actually, the best research is where you work with communities. I remember we had a project on bamboo in Maseno, and we went to work with the communities, and that is the most exciting part of research, when you work with the communities. If you stay in the ivory tower in the university and you are not dealing with the people, then the impact will be minimal. So I think we are changing. With time we are changing, and we are, because like to answer this or the challenges of SDGs, most of them are community-based, because we work for the communities. If it is poverty, it is with the communities. If it is hunger, it's with the communities. If it is education or whatever, water, it affects mostly the communities, and that is where researchers should go. Otherwise, you may not have a good impact. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And Dr. Jenny Mbunya has provided supplementary information on why some of the suggestions on why there's low research uptake in Africa, lack of scarcity of mentors, lack of writing skills, which has also been emphasized under communication, lack of motivation, and low demand for research by policymakers in Africa. So maybe the top-down approach to problem solving. So members, you can sustain the debate through the chat, and now we have come to the close of the opening ceremony. Perhaps we can have the online audience, ICT, can the online audience turn on their cameras for an online photo session before we go for the physical photo session? Or can we do it tomorrow morning for the online audience? It's due to time. So we are taking a health break. Our online audience, we are so grateful for your time and attention. We do hope that electricity and the internet will continue to favor us as we come back after break. Let's put it at 11:15 to start the breakout sessions. So for now, for the on-site participants, we are moving out of the room to have a photo session. Then we release the Vice Chancellor, and we come back, can have a quick cup of tea, and then we join our breakout sessions. Welcome outside for a photo session. On a light note, Dr. Fonze is asking whether they will have virtual tea. Yes. Okay. Some have put on their cameras. So ICT, kindly take the photos of the online audience, as we go for the physical one person can remain and check on the screen. If they have turned on, you can take the screenshots as we go out.
Iko wapi?